As a physiotherapist of 20 years specialising in lower back pain and stiffness for the over 50s, I have identified 3 reasons why your back pain and stiffness hasn't gone away and how you can reduce this instantly. So if you want to get back to doing the things you love, like playing with your grandchildren and playing golf without back pain and stiffness, then you need to watch till the end. I'm going to show you one exercise that helps 95% of my patients with back pain and stiffness feel better instantly. Now, the symptoms we're talking about here are basically tightness that occurs in the lower back muscles that might make it difficult for you to bend and twist. I see people with these problems all the time, and in my experience, everyone who has this issue is usually suffering from at least one of the 3 different things I'm going to talk about now. The first problem is stiffness. Our lower backs have joints called facet joints, which can become very stiff. And when this happens, the muscles around it also become tight. The second problem that people often suffer with that cause pain is weakness. The 2 biggest problems are weakness in your glutes, which is your bum, and weakness around your trunk. Now, if either of these 2 muscle groups become weak, there's nothing to support your spine. So your spine is then left exposed and the back muscles have to work twice as hard. If that happens over a period of time, they become tight and they then become sore. The third problem is back tightness. And when I say tightness, I'm not talking about tight muscles. I'm talking about tightness in your legs. Your leg muscles attach onto your pelvis. So if they become tight, they then pull the pelvis into uncomfortable positions or positions that it shouldn't be in. That then puts a lot of stress and strain on your back. So I'm going to show you a couple of exercises to fix each one of these problems and hopefully relieve your tight lower back. But before I show you them, the first thing I need to say is that these exercises are not suitable for everybody, especially if you've just had surgery or you've been told that you just shouldn't be doing them. If you do feel pain, please don't do them. And if it feels any worse, please get yourself checked out by your doctor. So the first problem we want to solve is stiffness in the joints in the lower back. So our facet joints are the joints that run either side of the spine that are involved in a few different movements, such as rotation of the lower back, and they also are involved in bending forwards and arching back. So I've got one great exercise for you which will really loosen the stiffness in the facet joint and should really help with your lower back pain. The first exercise we're going to do, which will address your lumbar stiffness for your facet joint, is a lumbar roll. So if you just bend your knees to 90 degrees, both of them, and then all I want you to do is put your hands down by your side. I then want you to drop your knees down to one side and try and keep your shoulders on the floor, and you'll really feel a rotation and a really nice stretch through your lower back and possibly even your buttocks. So I want you to hold this for a good 30 seconds and then come back up to the middle and then repeat on the other side. The next problem we want to solve is tightness in the muscles in your legs. And there are 3 different muscle groups which can get tight, and if they're tight, they can pull on the spine and they can cause lower back pain. So the 3 different muscle groups we're going to be stretching today are your hip flexors, which run from the front of your pelvis and go all the way just to below your knee. The next group we'll work on is your hamstring, which live down the back of your thigh. And the final group are your glutes, which are around your hips, which are basically your bum muscles. The next muscle we're going to stretch is your hip flexor, which runs right along the front of your thigh. So what you need to do is get yourself onto one knee. I then want you to just tuck your pelvis under, so really tuck your tailbone underneath. And then the next stage is to squeeze your right buttock and push forwards, and you'll feel a really strong pull on the front of your thigh. Again, hold this for 30 to 60 seconds with no more than 3 to 4 pain discomfort. So the next stretch is for your hamstring. So what I'd like you to do is just straighten your left leg, keeping your knee just ever so slightly bent and relaxing the foot. I then want you to sit nice and tall and then bend from the pelvis, keeping your back nice and straight, and you'll feel a nice stretch just behind your knee and up the back of your thigh. If you start feeling this in your calf or even your foot and you start feeling some sharp discomfort, there's a chance that you've irritated your sciatic nerve. So make sure that your knee is bent and that your foot is relaxed. I want you to hold this stretch for between 30 to 60 seconds and make sure that your discomfort level is no more than 3 to 4 out of 10. The next exercise is one of my favorite exercises, which helps 95% of my clients who suffer with back pain and discomfort. And the stretch we're going to do now really focuses on stretching your hip and your buttock. So, sitting in a hard chair, I just want you to just cross your leg. And I want you to sit nice and tall, pop your hands on the leg you're going to stretch, on the knee, push down slightly, and then bend forwards from the pelvis, and you'll feel a really strong stretch right into your buttock. I want you to hold this for 30 to 60 seconds and repeat on both hips and do that 3 to 4 times a day. So the final exercise we're going to do is to address the weaknesses that we've already discussed, which are for your glutes and your trunk. And this exercise addresses both. So we're going to do a glute bridge. So I want you to bend your knees to 90 degrees. I want you to just flatten your lower back and just push it against the bed and tuck your pelvis under. I then want you to squeeze your buttocks really tight and then just lift your bum off the bed. So take about 2 seconds to go up, hold for 2 seconds and then slowly come down. So if we go again, tilt your pelvis under, squeeze your buttocks, lift up, pause at the top for 2 seconds and then come back down. I'd like you to do between 10 to 15 of those. If they are too easy, a very quick progression is to just cross your arms. So if you now cross your arms, it takes away the stability of you popping your hands down next to you. So tilt your pelvis under, squeeze your buttocks together, lift up, hold for a couple of seconds and back down. So those are the 3 different reasons you may be suffering with lower back pain and stiffness. And speaking of lower back pain and stiffness, I've also done a lot of research on neck pain, as this is one of the most common complaints we see in our clinics for the over 50s. So if you are struggling with neck pain and discomfort and want to reduce neck pain in under 60 seconds, please make sure you click on the video and check it